All right, I see some of you coming in. Wave if you can hear me okay. Or thumbs up. Hi, Jada. Hi, Maurice. Bichon, how are you? All right, I see some of you coming in. Okay, perfect. Well, today, as promised, I have a special guest for you. And her name is Roberta. She is the founder of Almost Plant-Based. And I am excited to have her today with us. So as an executive chef, she has over 20 years of experience in the hospitality industry, and she has been an advocate for health. And Roberta is globally published. She's a vegan chef whose recipes promote better eating habits for individuals seeking to improve their health through a plant-based diet. She's passionate about teaching individuals secret method to push past the roadblocks that will lead to their happy and sustainable life free from illnesses. Roberta is a coach, and her coaching strategy is taught through her online health community. And she also offers one-on-one coaching. So Roberta's passion stems from her own experience with her beloved family's members' death from illness and also her past illness from herself. So Roberta's personal experience with illness opened her eyes to the problem with the African American community about health. And she saw that there was a need for someone to help, not only to shed light on how to better their health, but also to give them the steps to do it. So now she travels the world speaking and teaching individuals how to take control of their health. And I am so excited. I am so excited to have Roberta with us. You say hi, Roberta?
Hey everyone. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I have been actually following you on Facebook. Blossoms is your name on Facebook. And just looking at you cooking with joy, beautiful pictures of food. And I was sharing with you that it's been inspiring to see you in action and inspiring me to, go ahead and share also. And when I saw your book, um, I said, this is just great because that is exactly what I want to talk about and get people to realize the importance and the power of their brain, of their mind, not the brain, the mind,
Yes.
and on eating and eating habits and health. And so, Almost Plant-Based is the name of your book, the name of your program also. And so I am just excited to have you on. Let me put a picture of your book here so people can see it. We'll give some information at the end. Oops, sorry, that didn't work. Let me try again. There it is. Okay. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and jump in. The first question that I want to ask you is really what prompted you to focus on nutrition, on wellness, and especially through a plant-based lifestyle?
Yeah, pretty much my background is a little bit of knowledge through with being plant-based, or um, the most commonly used term is vegan. So actually learning about plants and how it does have an effect on the body has been a message that I've been hearing pretty much all of my life, but not really. You hear the message, but not really too many people will go into why or what's the steps, like what's the benefit of actually being plant-based completely. What does that have, the effect that it has on your body, especially when you grow up in a family that, is not actually eating a plant-based diet. So you don't know anything other than what we are being taught through our parents, that's being passed down, or our grandparents, or whomever our community is around us. Um, so when I had a thought from the beginning, it always started from my mom. Back then, 40 years ago, nutrition wasn't really something that was promoted. And so what was promoted, especially when you have a large family, is making sure that you're able to spend enough, you're trying to lower your expenses. So most of the time we would eat canned goods, and out of the canned goods, it wasn't, all the nutrition is gone out of canned goods, or because of the regulations on how they have to pack them. And then, the flavor is also gone. When you lose the nutrition, it then transfer, or it takes the flavor away from the actual product itself. So growing up with that, eating that lifestyle, I knew that if this organization was promoted health, organization I was part of, then why is it, this can't be the way that we're going to eat. This is not sustainable at all. So it's other foods that's more, as I would see it from back then compared to what I was eating out the can, that taste better than what I'm being served here. So from a young age, I kind of had that planning in the back of my head, but it wasn't until I got older and I started really, the whole purpose of me going to culinary school was actually to learn how to fix nutritious foods and foods that taste good, that are healthy for the body. And so it stemmed from there, and it just gradually continued to grow until I was like, I'm going all in. This is the message. This is what I'm supposed to share with the world, especially with people health issues. So yeah.
That is wonderful. So, from what you've learned, from what you've experienced, what is the power of the mind that you have learned or noticed on changing the eating habits, on really working on our health in general?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I would leave by saying that pretty much I think that when it comes to eating, we take out renewing the mind, or reprogramming the mind about the foods that we eat, and it's kind of sad and mind-boggling, because in every other aspect of our lives, when we face things that we have to push past our limits, or try to overcome challenges, we utilize our mind to rethink or reprogram and see that challenge in a different light, or see us succeeding that challenge. But yet when it comes to food, we don't apply that same strategy. So it so teaching people how, just reconnected with them and let them know that this is, you use this strategy already, in your everyday life. Whatever things that you're facing, you're already using this strategy, whether it's you facing the fact that you are getting up to go to a job that you do not like, or you going over a family member house, or you doing anything that is going to cause you to have some discomfort, some pain, some upset, or things like that. So just to get your mind wrapped around the whole change with food, then that's another, is it's the same concept. Is That's where you're starting at. So try to think about it, apply it. So that's kind of what I tell people. Like, you have to start there. You already applied it. It's not like a foreign language to you. You're just now trying to apply it to your food and your diet.
That is so true. So when you work with your clients, what kind of um, exercises or tips or things that you to help them to do to transform their mind and shift their mindset into this more nutritious eating, beating illnesses and so on.
Yeah, so through the online program and when I work with clients one-on-one, the heavy aspect of all of it is refocusing or reprogramming the mind. So we're heavy in doing those exercises, which consists of affirmation. It's a daily affirmation. It also consists of positive talk. So each day you have something, that a sentence or a phrase that you will repeat and say, because you need to hear yourself saying this. And you're also looking at yourself while you're saying this, because this is who you are. You are building it. And then it also stems in with meditation. And a lot of times we have to really be the producer of our own story. And so you have to start with the mind and reprogramming it, changing it around, whereas though now you want to build or you want to visualize where your end goal is. How healthy do you want to be? So each person definitely is, these are daily meditations 2 times a day. Whereas though you go in, you take time out and you just sit down and you focus on how you want it to look. How do you want your health to look? What is the end result for your health? You looking at yourself through a mind's eye of being healthy. So that's part of all reprogramming the mind, because your mind does not know the difference between reality and fake. And so when you reprogram, or when you sit there and you build your own story, then it starts to become regular, and then it becomes a thought, which then start transition over to your brain and become a neuron, which is now going to be a reaction of your body. So yeah.
That is so true. And I see some people join in. I see Paris and Lorian and Mizi. Chef Mizi is with us. Hi, Beth. So nice to see you guys come in. And it's true what you were saying about the mind that does not really notice or realize what is the reality and what is our visualization. Even when we watch commercials about burgers and pizza and snacks and things like that, it's almost like we are living it, because you get immersed into the emotional, the sensations, the taste. We can almost smell it, like we say, and that is actually the mind having a total experience with that food, even though the food is not actually in front of us and we're not actually eating it. And so that is so true, that the mind is so powerful. So I guess tell us a little bit more, or give us an example of a strategy that you would use. So you said affirmation, meditation. Just give us just a little bit more detail, something that, or a tip that our listeners could practice.
I would say that first, let's start at, you have to recognize that your eyes is in your mind. So your eyes is so powerful for registering information. And you have to understand that the commercials, that's why people pay billions, millions, and billions of dollars for commercials to run. Just think about the Super Bowl and how much it is to get a commercial on the Super Bowl net when it plays. And what that does, they invest that money because they know that in out of what they're seeing, or out of what you're seeing, the consumer, that you see so much is so much more. So they have to make sure that the colors, the lighting, the sound, the illustration, all of that plays a part, whereas though now it register in your non-conscious mind, and then it'll send it through steps, whereas though now it spits it out into your conscious mind of how to react to it. So you want to take aware, you have to be aware of that. So I'm not sure if you ever heard, or if anyone ever heard in church where it was a song, be careful little eyes what you see, and be careful with little ears what you hear. And it's so powerful in this incident, because when you're intaking or digesting all of that information that comes into your mind, which your mind never sleeps, it then process it, and it becomes a part of you, and you'll then react to it at any given time. So knowing that step, then you have to go into actually knowing or taking precautions, or now recollecting that data, like bringing that data into captivity. And so a first step that we normally do in the program is we make sure that we write everything down. We write down all of our feelings. We write down everything that is associated to foods, like family, friends, locations, times, places, your environment, everything down, saying phrases. You need to bring all of that information to your conscious mind and write it down, so that you are aware. So you have enough data to actually get over roadblocks that you are stumbling over. So that's one powerful tool. Before we can even move on to anything else, we bring things into captivity. So it's one of the part of that part, that part of the program is called recite. So we're going to recite everything, making sure that we understand why we're acting the way that we're acting, even if we don't quite know. But once you start writing it down, a lot of the clients find that they don't have anything right off the top of their head, but once they start writing, then it triggers another memory. It triggers another non-conscious memory that's in your head. You can be like, oh, okay. And by the time they're done, they have full lists of paper, multiple sheets of paper. That is why they're choosing the foods that they're choosing. So that's one of the main steps that I would definitely do to help rebuild your structure, rebuild your mind. That you could do now without anything, just a piece of paper and a pen,
That's true. That's very good. That's one of the things I think in my second video I talked about, that, really trying to figure out, why, what is the emotional attachment? What does that represent to you? And sometimes, it's good things, I love eating whatever because it reminds me of a good childhood experience, or we always ate this when we had family gatherings, and now I'm not with my family, but I just want, to have it. It makes me feel good, makes me feel warm inside. But and then it can also be from other things, that are more negative, trauma and other issues. But yes, being able to identify what is going on, and identifying it, not judging it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You have to, it's just for data. It's not for you to sit up here and say that you're one way or the other on the spectrum. It's just for you to know where you are. You don't judge yourself. And this is a sheet, when you write this data out, it's for you. It's not for you to share with other people unless you feel compelled in a testimony or something of that nature. But it's for you to know the information so you can deal with it, because each person have their own sheets, their own memories of why they're drawn to certain foods that they can't get over, or why they're doing certain things that they can't get over. So, and it, like you said, it's good, and it's something that might be of a trauma. So it's not just necessarily a trauma is why you're going towards these foods, but it could be something that's very joyous as well. I know a lot of us, we love Thanksgiving, and our family traditions, or when we get together for a family, it's going to be certain foods there, right? So we start craving those. Months before, we start calling people up that make their best dish, like, hey, are you bringing this dish? Those things are all part of it, of trying to, that's part of your programming in your mind. So yeah.
Very true, very true. And I see Leticia and Gisela here. Nice to see you, ladies.
Hi.
Please invite others to join. We're having a nice little crowd coming. Roberta is an author, and the book is called Almost. I chuckle at the name because I feel like I'm that way. I'm almost plant-based.
Right.
So, so how did you get to that title? That is also the name of your program. And so,
Right.
how did you get to that title? And give us a bit about the myth between animal eating, plant-based eating. Just teach us more about that.
Yeah, so I actually got to that title because I am surrounded by vegetarians, and the number one thing they always say is, "Oh, I wish I can just go full plant based." And I'm
Mhm.
like, you can. It just takes a little work. It takes a little practice. It takes you actually reprogramming your mind and bringing those thoughts to captivity, so you can shine light on why you're eating certain foods, or why you're so-called quote unquote quote stuck on those foods, or those foods that you can't give up. So anyone who's desiring to be a full plant-based, you know, lifestyle, then you can definitely do that. And I say plant-based. I don't say vegan, because vegan is a different lifestyle than plant-based. Plant-based is mainly to make sure that your focus is more so focused on health relations, making sure that you can be the best that you can. Vegan adds in the element of animals, animal rights, and things of that nature. And so a lot of times I named the book Almost Plant-Based. It was originally almost vegan, but I didn't want to deter anyone from thinking that, it's hard enough when you are facing a life-threatening illness to try to focus on that. So I didn't want to add that extra pressure, as in, you have to focus on the animals as well. So that's why I named it Almost Plant-Based. And it just stemmed from the vegetarians in my life.
Yes, every time you say, oh, somebody says, oh, I'm vegan, it's like, oh, okay, they're vegan, and
Yeah.
it has that connotation where it's so serious and
Yeah.
so difficult, so strict, and people just really tend to shy away from it. And
Right.
yes, plant-based is a bit more appealing. The principle, when you target that principle of health, that's the key. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So tell us about, meat eating or animal products versus plant products. Everybody talks about, where do I get my proteins and this and that. I know I can get the fibers, but what about the rest?
I know. And the thing is, I hear doctors say it all the time, like they never seen a patient that was lacking protein. So um, that's something that is in pretty much in every product that you can find that's plant-based, is protein. So you would never lack that protein. And a lot of things that we actually consume, like if you're a meat eater, or you're eating products from the animal products, then you have to understand that you're also taking on all of their genetics, all of their illnesses, and everything that they have consumed, you have consumed. It's just like when they're eating the grass or the plants or whatever they're eating, they're taking on that form as well. Their body is soaking up everything that they have just ate. And so in turn, it goes the same way. And so when you are looking to um, transition over, it's not something that you have to do. It's not, you do not have to consume milk, meat, to get your nutrition in. That's just like, I know one of the myths that is very heavy. So we know that we can get protein. So that was debunked, right? But what's going on now is, which is very heavy, is like dairy. People are still so hooked on dairy, and the dairy industry is very extremely large, and it's profiting very, very well off of us. And the thing is, we don't get any benefits out of dairy. I know they don't necessarily have the commercials now where they say it does the bones good, because for the simple fact of dairy has been shown and tested that it takes out the calcium. So you've been drinking dairy milk all your life from another animal source, not even your own species. Now you have osteoporosis when you get older, and you're trying to figure out, well, what is this coming from? And it stems from the fact that it takes out the nutrition in your bones. And so plant-based milk add the nutrition that you actually need, that helps stems healthy bone growth, and sustainability for your bones. So yeah. So that's just one of the myths. And you have to think about how they actually have milk in everything. It's cream, ice cream, cheese. You put it in your coffee. They even have it on potato chips. Like, milk is in so many, dairy, I would say dairy is in so many items. And usually if it's any form of like a powdered substance, like if you're getting boxed mashed potatoes and things like of that nature, milk is definitely in those products. So, or dairy is in those products. So yeah.
So what do you say to people that think that it's so difficult, to transition? And I didn't ask you that. Were you always a plant-based chef? Did you start that way? In how is it transitioning, or how is it, um, what would you say to people who think that it's so difficult and they just cannot do it?
Yeah. Well, to answer your first question, I have not always been a plant-based chef. A lot of times in my professional career, I had to cook whatever the client or whatever the customers wanted. So whatever would drive the sales that day. So that's kind of where we stemmed from, or where I started from. But then afterwards, and also in my own business, that's when I started to transition over to being plant-based. Definitely in my own business, I could have more control. And so I stemmed that over to also to being in my professional career as well. So I wasn't always that way, but that's where we ended. And what was your second question? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And so what would you say to people, since you had that transition both personally and professionally, and you coach others to transition? What would you say to somebody who said it's just too difficult? I don't feel like that I can't do it. Tying it
Um,
to the power of the mind again.
yeah, to those people, naturally, I would say, well, let's write down why you can't do it. Why do you feel that way? And because we're going to start by once again reprogramming your brain, and we're going to start transitioning over and change that sentence structure to something that's positive. Like, okay, so I can do more, so of I can do this, and then I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. We're going to take small steps. When you're transitioning, you don't want to send any you don't want to you want to transition slowly, because you don't want your body to go into a stage of rejection. And that way, when you transition slowly, you'll be able to retrain your body, and be able to allow it to help aid you in the transition instead of fight against you.
Okay, that's a very key concept. So all of those people just throwing out all kind of food and saying, I'm going plant-based, and I'm going to only eat vegetables for for the rest of
Yeah.
my life. And sometimes, they feel like they fail because they eat, and then they think that they just can't do it. So you think
Uh-huh.
that it's better to just gradually transition into it? And what are three I would say what are just tips, other tips that you can give us?
Other tips for transitioning?
Yes.
Other tips for transitioning would be, one, write down the information. Two, start actually meditating. Three, go in and start taking out food one item at a time, one or two items at a time. Don't do a whole food group. Um, Start where you feel comfortable, and then four, you definitely, for health reasons, you definitely want to try to pick up a slow workout routine. Don't start with anything too intense. You know, if you're already working out, whereas though you're walking for 30 minutes or for 1 mile, how about you add on another quarter mile or half a mile, or add some running time in there? That's definitely a few tips that I would give to help with redirecting, refocusing your brain, because the workouts, bringing oxygen to your brain, does actually help you, um, helps you in aiding in your brain getting oxygen and allowing it to really think and start processing correctly and processing what you're trying to do.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm getting from that is, we don't have to be just going in all intense and gun ho. We can actually gradually make some changes. Pick maybe a food item or something that we say we're going to try to do without, or remove and replace by something better.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
remove and then there's a lot, remove and replace by something better. um, Definitely working on the mind, journaling, meditating, and then also exercising. Um,
Hmm.
we think about the exercise sometimes as it's just to lose the inches and to lose the weight, but you're talking exercising to bring oxygen to the brain. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now the brain is the kind of where you would go in. It tells your body what to do.
Mhm.
So if it's not getting oxygen, if the blood vessels in your brain are restricted, are closed off, or are small, then it's going to be hard to think and focus. So therefore, bringing that oxygen in, bringing that air from outside, and I'm sorry, let's work outside as well. Get out as much as you can with the air, because those elements all play a part into nourishing the body as well. So you do want to, everything that you're doing is really helping to refocus your brain. So yeah.
Refocus, rewire.
Right. Yeah.
That's really good, and it helps to reset also, our taste buds. Eventually, there's
Yeah.
something that I've noticed that with myself. You remove something, replace it by something that's more nutritious, and your body is actually thanking you,
Yes.
and that's
And
what.
you have to, that's why I say take smaller steps. You have to, if we take out something, that goes with any addiction or any thing that we're trying to get rid of, whether we're trying to get, like, for single ladies, if we're trying to get rid of a guy, it's easier to get rid of a guy that we not into if we replace them with someone else that is more likely, you know quote unquote, the dream guy, right? So it's the same with food. If you are taking out something that you have been addicted to, or that you have been craving, you have to find that replacement for it, or else you're just going to go right back to that same food.
Right.
So put in that replacement. That's why I say take it step by step, and not replacing everything all at once.
Right.
Your mind won't be able to handle that large replacement, that large commitment to taking that large step.
Yeah, and your wallet either.
Yeah.
That is so good. That is so good. Thank you so much. Um, tell us, how can we get a hold of your book? Let me see if I can put a picture of it again. How can we get a hold of your book, Almost Plant-Based?
Yeah, so you can actually in my profile, if you become my friend, you can click on the bio and a link, and it will take you straight to the page where so you can access the Almost Plant-Based look link. You can also, it's on Amazon as well, so you can just go straight there and order it from good old Amazon. I think they're doing shipping. It's going out like the 20th or something of that nature. Shipping is very slow right now, but you can try that as well, or you could just connect with me. You can also email me at joinalmostplantbased@gmail.com, and you can look us up on Instagram at Join Almost Plant Based, and also on Facebook at Join Almost Plant Based. And we also have a Facebook group that is called Almost Plant Based. So all of those links, you can definitely connect with me and get the book there.
Okay. So you're looking for her, just type Almost Plant-Based, everything.
Yeah.
Anything, and you will find her. That's awesome. And also, so how, if we wanted to do coaching with you, also emailing you or getting into
Emailing me, and you can go through that link as well. It'll be a
that?
tab to go for one-on-one. We can definitely, before you do coaching with me, we actually go in and we do, especially if you're doing one-on-one coaching, we go in and we do an assessment first. So I give a free assessment for anyone that's looking to change their health, and let them know what the program is about, understand what their needs are, and we go from there.
Okay, and the free assessment you said is in the group.
Yes, you'll schedule that call with me. So you'll have a link. That link would take you to schedule a call with me.
Okay, and
And
guys,
if it doesn't, you can just definitely email me or shoot me a message in Messenger, and we'll go from there.
okay, so I put your email, almost join almost plant-based at gmail.com, and I will also add, guys, later on the link to the group, so you guys can get in touch with Roberta. And you do also other things. You cater.
Yes, so my
I,
number one business was catering. So I started catering 13, 14 years ago, and that was my main business. So catering, private chef, mentor, coach, chef coach. I do a lot of things,
all of the above.
speaker, everything.
And I'll tell you the truth, I was supposed to be in your area this last month, and COVID said no. I was very disappointed because I'm still looking forward to the food.
Yes, when you come down, we have to get together.
Yes, we will. We will. I mean, that was, COVID said no, not right
Yeah,
now, but it's going to happen. And I will
yeah.
be, my sister Vanessa said she wants you and I to cook, and then she's just going to
Of
sit.
course, she wants to taste it. She's
You
the
know
number
how
one
she
taster. Yes.
would. She would eat for 2 days, but at least it would be plant-based, right?
Yeah.
And you also have a t-shirt, line.
Yeah. So we do have products as well, and that's through the link too. So I made one convenient link that could take you to all the other links.
Perfect. Well, anything else that you would like to share with us? Any words of encouragement for our listeners that came in?
Yeah, I would just like to say to people that's out there thinking about, transitioning to a plant-based, or thinking about, getting their health in order, just know that your health isn't something, it's not a laughing matter. It's not nothing to play around with. And our bodies are wonderfully made to help replenish ourselves. We have our own immune system, which is our little army that allows us to, aid off foreign elements or free radicals that will come into our bodies. And so, just if you're thinking about transitioning to plant based so that you can maximize your health, get optimum health, then that's definitely something I applaud you. I would say take it, do it. And it's steps out here. You can definitely contact me. If you don't contact me, you can contact whomever that you feel comfortable with. But I definitely have a plan and a strategy in place that will help you. And it's daily steps. We take your hand. It's not something that you have to go through alone. So just reach out. Just get moving.
Right.
Take it serious.
You have the steps and you have the personality. Sometimes we just need somebody that's warm that will help us to to navigate through that. And so definitely all the qualities of a good coach that who knows what she's talking about, who has experienced it, experienced the transition herself, has helped other people transition, make some changes to just really just help with their health. And Tishoy said, replace the food just like we replace the guy. That's our takeaway, right? That's our takeaway for today. Change your mind. You don't, you don't want that anymore. You want something else, something new, something better, and you definitely do it. Oops.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can definitely do it. And so thank you so much for coming. Guys, if you have questions, I didn't open up for questions. Anybody has any questions out there? I'm going to put Roberta's book back up one more time. And let me see if anybody has questions. If you do, go ahead and type in the comments right now.
Yep. Any questions?
Let me give them a few minutes to see. All right, I don't see any questions coming in. I know this was a lot of information. This is Roberta Books, guys, Almost Plant-Based, where she teaches you the strategies. Tishoy said she wants to type in a question. Let me see.
Okay.
And so while she's typing, this is her book, Almost Plant-Based. You guys can definitely get it where they...
and if you have questions afterwards, then I'll be in the comments for a little bit. I'll definitely stay around for the comments for about an hour or so to see, and I'll type it in.
Okay, and so yeah, so like the visitor. Besides whey and casein, what are other dairy words?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
And I may not pronounce it all right. Besides whey and casein, what are other dairy words?
What up, dairy words?
Yes. So what do you mean by that, Tishoy? You mean just other terms that are used to describe dairy, or what terms we should look for in the ingredients sometimes? Because sometimes they don't put milk or contain.
That is true. So you actually, I'm sorry, you actually have to really, if you go onto my website, I don't know the terms offhand because they're so long, because they will have hundreds of different terms that the FDA has approved to put in there just to psych you out that it's not actually dairy. So I am compiling a list of those terms so it can actually, so people will know what those terms are. But I can't think of the terms right off the top of my head. So I'm gonna have to get back to you and I'll put them in the comments.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and you said on your website you've already started a list also.
No, I haven't released it on my website yet. So I have to actually put that on the website of different terms that they use for meat products and dairy products. That's actually inside. So I would just say stick with the ingredients that you know. When you're purchasing food, stick with the ingredients that you actually know and that actually show it. That way you're not fooled by what might or might not be into something.
That was a really good question. That's something that we would not think about. We're looking for dairy, we're looking for the word dairy, we're looking for milk. And if it says, well, it doesn't say it has milk in it, so clearly
right.
It doesn't contain dairy, but it actually can, just in a different form, a different process form, and we would not really know the name. So seeking to good natural ingredients, things that we can read and understand. You will know once you look at the list, you know what it says. You can have a picture of that's what the item is, that's what the ingredient is in the food.
Right.
Anybody else has any other questions? All right, I don't see any other questions coming in. Thank you so much, Roberta, for coming and sharing all this information with us. Guys, this is the picture of her book. And if you are looking for her, just type Almost Plant-Based. Any social media, she has a Facebook page, Facebook group. She is on Instagram as well. Almost Plant-Based. Changing the mind is very important. Control the mind to control your eating and change your health. Thank you, Roberta, for coming. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining us. This was great, great information. I couldn't ask for more, and I know our listeners enjoyed it also. You guys take care and
Thank you.
follow Roberta. You also do on your page on is it Wednesdays that you cook?
Wednesday, yes, we do cooking lives every Wednesday, and that's in the Facebook group Almost Plant-Based.
Awesome.
So it's a private group. So you'll have to click groups and just type in Almost Plant-Based and you should find us.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Food addictions, change your mind so that you can change your eating habit and live a healthier, fuller life. Thank you so much for joining. And until we see you again, you guys take care and be blessed.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Roberta. Bye-bye.
Bye.